Alright, so hey guys, working on the VEVOR Hitch cargo carrier. I mentioned I had bought one of these because my intention is to transport some gear for Thanksgiving, and I didn't really want to have it in the back of the truck under the tonneau cover just in case the propane leaked. And I'm bringing down that grill smoker 3-in-1 from Charbroil. What are they called? Big Easy, the Big Easy. So I wanted to keep that outside of the truck and try to minimize my messes. And I thought one of these VEVOR Hitch cargo carriers would be best. Looks like that. And I'll link it, of course. But anyway, assembly right now is going okay. You just have two halves right here of the carrier. It's 60 inches wide, and then there's a central beam here in the center. 4 bolts, washers, lock nuts, and that'll be buttoned up together, and we'll see how it goes from there. All right, so hey guys, the next step after you get the two halves of the cargo carrier bolted together to that center rail, you have to put these braces in place. And what you'll wonder is, where the heck are the braces? If you're like me, you looked at this thing and you said, oh wow, look how great it is. It's all wrapped up in foam, and it's wrapped up in plastic on top of the foam, so that'll keep it from getting scratched or chipped while we put it together. No, you gotta take that stuff off, because these braces right here are wrapped up underneath that foam. So, and then of course you have to take the foam off to put them on. So, little tip there, take some of the foam off at least, so that you can get those brackets out and get those attached. We'll move on to the next step. All right, so hey guys, continuing work on the VEVOR cargo thing. After I got it bolted together, and it still has to be tightened up, but I wanted to get the electrical worked on as well before we start finalizing all the bolt torques. But I'll put it in the description, of course. I bought a light strip that's basically for the, and I have a very similar one on my truck that I've been meaning to do a review for over a year, but basically the same concept. It's a light strip. It's right here. It's double stick tape, but I'm using some zip ties for now to hold it in place while the double stick tape sets. Also, it's a little cold when they ship these when Amazon sends you these light strips, right? They come in a bag like this, in a roll. So it has quite a bit of memory to it, and so the spiral on it's pretty tight. So it doesn't want to straighten out as much. I've been running the heat here in the garage. I've been using also a heat gun to kind of soften it up a little bit. Be careful with the heat gun. You can overdo it and make this clear coating very soft. I don't know how far you can push that, so don't. But anyway, it comes here to 5 wires. You can see the 5 wires right here. I did put, obviously I did put connectors on the end with heat shrink, and the idea is that I'll be able to use these terminals to connect it to this. This right here is it's just a little terminal block that is wired to a 7-pin trailer connector. I know I should change my camera view, but I'm using the selfie view, so hopefully you can see that. So it's a 7-pin, comes around, comes into this, and then breaks out into each one of those 7 contacts. So it's it's reverse running, and then it's regular red running lights, and then it's turn signals, which is also brakes, right? So left and right turn signal at the same time as brakes, or it's turn signal one at a time. Comes into this right here. This comes open. You can see here there's a knockout, and I'll bring the wires through and just connect them up. Then this will end up getting bolted to the bottom of this little cargo rack, and that should, on the underside, so that it doesn't interfere with the stuff you put in there. It's pretty low profile, so I don't think it'll have any issues with hitting the ground. So that's where I'm at right now. Let me switch views into that. So I've got the wiring, right? There's negative or common, whatever you want to call it. But so here is right turn signal. That's the green wire. And then yellow. That's left turn signal. That's the yellow wire. And then the brown wire is running lights. Either they're dimmer than the turn signal. Apologize for the flashing. That's just me in the alligator clip there. See, so that's the running light, and then this is reverse, which is kind of cool. I always thought reverse lights on most trucks are a little dim, or cars as well. Maybe that's just me getting old. I will say that if you have some of these add-on reverse lights, it does help as we get older and backing out of the driveway. Anyway, that is my status right now. It's a Sunday morning and the chill of 50 degrees is coming off, and hopefully I'll be able to put this on the truck, on my wife's truck in a little bit. But let me button up the wires. I'll do some wire loom and get it done, and we'll probably do one more scene here. All right, so hey guys, finishing up the wiring on the 5-pin harness. Looks like that, right? Or sorry, 7-pin harness. Going into the control, what do they call it? Junction box. So, two things to be important, two important things to be aware of. One, depending on the way you route your cables to the back of your vehicle, you know, the left is right or the right is left. In my case, I routed the cables on the left side or the driver's side, and that made left is left and right is right. And based on the LEDs, that means that left is the yellow wire and right is the green. And of course, if you run it around the other side, reverse those. The other thing I wanted to mention is the instructions that come with the junction box, which they're good. They illustrate all the colors that are used and what they're used for. The funny thing is they don't match anything about the LEDs, right? So other than white is white, all the other colors are a mix match. So you got to make sure you check them and connect the right connectors. Looks like you know, I'm still got to finish up these zip ties, but I just ran a wire loom around here. It does have an inline fuse. I don't know, hopefully that's not a problem. Then we're going to take this unit here, and I'm just going to bolt it up underneath here, and that should do it. Once I get this finalized, I will probably check in one more time, but that's what the wiring looks like. It's all tied up, and I think it'll be pretty good. So I'm not worried about this. But one other thing: the junction box does not come with any type of lock nut or anything like that. So the nuts that are on each terminal, I put a lock washer on there just to make sure that they don't come undone. You know, when you're driving down the road, this is going to shake and vibrate a lot. So I think that was worth doing. So more to come in one second. All right, so hey guys, sorry about the sun, but you know, time moves on through the day. This took a lot longer than I thought, and that's always the case. Anyway, there it is. It's in place. Lights are working. Everything's good. I don't have any issues with it as far as I can tell. Round. There's the gato. Anyway, they do give you a anti-rattle plate that goes on there like that. And basically, it's just an extra tightening piece to sort of make sure that nothing rattles or moves. So, you know, there's a little bit of clearance inside those hitch receivers, which you know, they do rattle. So and then there's how I mounted the electric junction box. That looks good. that was the length of the cable, so I wrapped it around here once just so it didn't risk dragging. I don't think it really would drag, but I guess this is going to work out pretty decent. Sorry, hey, it's me again. I did forget to mention one thing. You can fold it up. You know, I wouldn't recommend driving around with this thing on the back of your truck all the time unless you need it all the time. It is pretty heavy, so removing it from the truck and putting it back in is not that easy, and especially if you put that rattle adapter on there, because then you got to get under there with a wrench and loosen up those bolts. I don't know. This is one of those things for us. We're going to just have it on the truck when we need it. But it does fold up, and so I guess if you were on a trip and you were unloaded, you could drive around and not have this thing hanging off as dramatically off the back as possible. But it doesn't really, you know, if I had a lot more time, I might wire in more lights for this mode. If I was going to leave it on the truck all the time with it folded up, but I'm not doing that, so I think I'll skip the lights. Anyway, have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. See you on the next one.